Good evening, Melissa Johnson here. I am so sorry about that. I had a little bit of technical difficulty, and since I still have no idea what I'm doing, I had to get some help. So, today is December 8th. Thank you for watching. Please like and share. I am talking from the heart in all episodes. Every once in a while, there may be some things that I will reference. But most of the things I'm just pretty much giving my opinion. Sometimes there is facts that I know just from stuff I learned in school, not that I'm a professional. Uh, but today I am going to talk about a couple different things. First, the economy. I am probably going to try to talk about the economy as much as I can on here because I just feel like people just don't understand how the economy works. And if everybody just keeps talking about it, eventually the people that need to hear it will hear it. At least that's what I'm hoping. Okay. So the economy. Okay. We're going to start basic. Okay. Number one, supply and demand. That's how the economy works. If you have a whole bunch of supply and less demand, then prices are higher. Okay. When you have a lot of demand, no, the other way around. A lot of demand, less supply, prices are higher. When it's more supply, less demand, think the prices are lower. You get the picture. Okay. So it'll even out if it's just the right amount of supply, just the right of demand. Okay. So we'll say since everyone is having problems with buying houses and affording rent. Okay. So we are renting. Our rent went up when our lease renewed. And of course, I understand why to an extent. Okay. I understand the people that bought the house, they have a mortgage. Maybe taxes went up, homeowners insurance went up. So they raised the rent. Okay. But if none of those things happen, I feel like they shouldn't raise the rent because if their mortgage is the same, they don't really need to raise the rent. Again, I'm not a landlord. I don't know. I'm just saying, in the way, in theory, I did own a house before, and not every year my mortgage went up. Okay. Of course, your mortgage stays the same, your taxes, your insurance. Okay. There were times when it actually went down because the taxes would be cheaper, um, insurance would be cheaper, whatever. Okay. So I'm just saying this in theory because I'm a renter. I have owned a house, so I know both sides. I've never actually rented my house out. So I guess there's different aspects there. If you're thinking, okay, well, I have to raise the rent because I will have to fix things when they move out. I may want to do updates when they move out because this house that I'm living in, the kitchen's pretty outdated. Maybe they're thinking ahead. When they move out, I want to redo the kitchen. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. Okay. But I am thinking to me is if their mortgage payments are not going up higher by a lot, I don't feel to me that they should raise the rent a lot. Okay, $50. I mean, if your taxes and your insurance goes up, it goes up per year. Yes, it is in your mortgage if you have a mortgage payment. If it's not, it's usually you pay it annually. And if you're raising it at $50 a month, it probably evens out. I'm just saying this is again, I'm not positive on how it works. I just know like when I had a mortgage, ours got to, ours was in our mortgage payment. And when it went up, it just went up in a little bit of increments per month because we still had a mortgage. I've never had a house paid off and had to pay taxes and homeowners insurance once a year. I don't know how that works. But if you want to think about, okay, right now, housing to me is crazy expensive. Okay. When you buy a house that, okay, we'll say in 2020, okay, a house, yeah, I live in the South. It's a little bit cheaper where I live than where I used to live in Baltimore. Okay. So I'm going to go by the area I live in, not average for the United States. I didn't do all my, research to find out average housing. I'm doing in my area. Okay. So I'll say in 2000, a house would have sold a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's an average size house. It's middle class. It's not anything extravagant. Okay. So that's just a median income of probably, what do you think? 90 to $1,000 a year. Okay. That's probably about what people were making, maybe a little bit less in 2020, because that's probably what people are making now. So I'll say your average income is 80,000 for a household. Say your house was 150,000, because that's probably what that house would have cost. 150, 160 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's my son bought his house. It was 164 in 2021 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Okay. Just an average size house. Okay. So we'll do that since I know exactly how much that house was. Okay. So that house right now was reappraised because, of course, they reappraise it every year so they can decide if they're going to raise your taxes. Okay. So when he got it reappraised, I think it was last year, they sent him the paper and they said, oh, if you would want to sell your house right now, you can make it would be 282,000. Okay. Again, it's just an average size house, not in a neighborhood that's real populated. So it's not where everybody wants to come because you're not really by a lot of things. He lived, there was grocery stores and restaurants, but there wasn't a lot. There wasn't like a Home Depot. A Walmart was pretty far. The Walmart, I'm going to say probably 10, 15 minutes, probably 15 minutes. It wasn't real close. So you're not by a Walmart. Again, not by a Home Depot or a Lowe's. Like I said, there's restaurants, there's a grocery store. So there's not a lot around. So of course that makes your house not be as high as value. Okay. So, but you're saying in 3 years, it still went up. What was that? $120,000. Okay. Just an example. Other houses went up by a lot more in areas where it's very populated. People want to live. Why people like those areas, I don't. But a lot of people want everything to be convenient. They want to be able to run down to the Walmart or whatever. The Walmart at my house, I'm by like a neighborhood Walmart. If I wanted to, it's maybe 7 minutes. To go to the super Walmart, it's about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So just depends on what you're looking for. Okay. So we're going to say the house went up in $120,000 in 3 years, roughly. I might even not have the number that he got in the mail correctly. Again, not my house. I just remember him saying something about it, and I believe that was the number. Okay, so you're talking in 3 years that went up $120,000 in value. Probably houses that are in an area, like I said, by the mall, downtown. They doubled easily, minimally. That's probably what they did. Which his was almost double, because he paid 164, it went up to 282, roughly something like that. So you're saying in 3 years it almost doubled. A lot of places almost doubled. Okay, so a lot of things affected that. Why it went up. Okay, number one, this is what people never fail to think about. Okay. You want to just go ahead right away, think of inflation and stuff like that. The reason why is because the country got flooded with a whole bunch of illegals. 20 million people flooded over our borders. Okay. So when they came here, what they have to live somewhere, right? So they got into our houses. When taxpayer dollars, they got to buy these houses or rent these houses. Okay. So the people that bought them, they're renting them out to illegals because they're getting free stuff from the government. Okay, so now they're renting and buying all the houses. There's not enough houses because we added 20 million people. We didn't add 20 million houses. We just added 20 million people. Now there's not enough houses. So what are they going to do? Oh, people need housing. They're not going to care how much it costs. So let's jack up the prices because the supply's less, demand's high. So let's jack the prices up. People are going to pay it because they need a house. Okay. You just moved out of your parents, you got married, you need a house, whatever reason. Okay. You need a house to live in. Okay. So these illegals came in here, 20 million. Think about that. 20 million people move into this country. They need a place to live. Okay. A lot of areas were not building houses in 2020, 2021, because stuff started to get expensive. Okay. We did have COVID, stuff got shut down. So that did make prices go up. Okay. I'm going to admit that we did have some of that. Some of the stuff went up because businesses closed down. Again, you have more demand than supply. So people can raise the prices because you're going to buy it because you need it. You don't have an option. You don't have all these other businesses that you used to have. They closed because they couldn't keep up with their bills if there's nobody coming in to buy their products. Okay, like a lot of the little small mom and pop stores, smaller businesses, even if it wasn't a mom and pop, okay, it was a franchise. Franchise is closed, okay? It just because, especially in cities that were closed down for a long time, I'm going to say probably Baltimore, they were closed for a long time, couldn't go any place without a mask. It was a rough time, okay, for the country. So those things jacked up prices, okay? So you have all these people flooding in the country. They're buying up the houses or renting up the houses on our tax dollar money. Remember that. They're not paying for it. We're paying for it. It's coming out of tax dollars, okay? So what happens? Jacks the prices up because, again, now we don't have enough housing. Oh, you want this house? How much do you want to pay? It's listed for $340,000, but I need you, someone else wants it. They're willing to pay $360. Are you willing to pay $360? And then the person gets it for $360. The people that owned it, that just sold it, probably bought it for $100,000. They just sold it for $360,000, even though it was probably only worth maybe $200,000. Okay. So there you have that. Hi, Elena. So that's the main thing that's hurting the economy right now. Okay. So housing. So if these cities, counties, states, whatever, start building more houses. Where I live, like I said, I live on the line of Tennessee, Georgia. I will tell you, in Georgia, in Northwest Georgia, they're building houses like crazy. They've been building houses for the past year. I would say it's got really predominant since this time last year. Okay. So build houses, gives more supply, and which makes it even with the demand, which will bring the prices down. Now, mind you, they're not going to drop to what they were. They're not going to be what they were in 2021. They're not going to go back down that low, unfortunately. We would love that. Like I said, I told you what a house cost roughly in an average neighborhood where my son lives. Okay. So if we can get some houses built, and that way people can buy houses again because there's enough houses for people to buy. Again, it'll start lowering the prices of the houses. It is a slow process. I know everyone wants everything to be quick, quick. We live in a microwave society. Everything wants it in 5 minutes. It's not fast enough, not fast enough, fast enough. We want it faster. Unfortunately, it is harder to build than destroy. Okay. That's the problem that we're coming across right now. In general, that's how it is you can build, okay, we'll say a sand castle. It takes you a good amount of time. Okay. We'll say 45 minutes, an hour, depending on if you're doing a crazy one. My kids used to do all kinds of tunnels and all this stuff. Maybe 3 hours if you're making a massive sandcastle. Took you a couple hours. What happens if the tide comes in? It wipes that sandcastle out in a minute of seconds, like a second. As soon as the wave comes, the castle's gone. So it took a lot less to destroy it than to build it. Or like this happened a couple times. My sons are older, my daughter's younger. She stomped through it and then knocked the castle down. Again, they took a couple hours building it. It took her a matter of 1 to 2 minutes to knock the whole castle down. So that's what I'm saying is the economy got destroyed within 3 years, but it's going to take, well, yeah, it'll take longer than 10 to 11 months to fix that. I know everybody wants it to be fixed. Okay. Small things have happened depending on where you live. Okay. Like I said, where I live, I just was out today. Gas was $2.33. I almost died. I couldn't believe it was that cheap. That's the cheapest I've seen around here. I was very shocked. Also, like, finally, because like I said, it's usually around 245, 255, sometimes 265. It stays in that range pretty much all the time. When I saw 233, I couldn't believe it. So it's going down slowly. Like I said, it's a slow process depending on how much people really care about American citizens. Is it about them just making money? And most of the people, it's about them making money. We're paid $349, $369, $379 last year. So we'd pay it. So why would they drop the prices, right? It just makes sense. Not to me, because that's not the way I would think. I would think I'd get more business if I had the cheaper prices. Okay. I used to work for Aldi. Aldi would be packed because they had the cheaper prices. Other stores weren't as busy because they didn't have the cheaper prices. That's just the way it goes. To me, that's the way it should always work. The person with the cheaper prices. Because honestly, the gas is coming from the same exact place. We think that, the gas is different. Okay. Yes. If you get premium, if you get supreme, whatever they are, that's different, but the gas comes from the same place. It's not different gas. I know people want to say that. Well, I'm going to Exxon. My gas is more special. Only if you're getting, like I said, premium. It's not any different than going to MAPCO. We have MAPCO down here. I'm not sure where you're watching from if you have MAPCO, but MAPCO would be like 7-Eleven. It's just a small gas station. It's not as popular as Exxon. Everywhere, Exxon is everywhere. Okay, so that's a little bit how the economy is working. Okay, so again, inflation does play a part. It does play a part. So, inflation this time last year was 9%. The highest it's been as long as I know, at least 40 years. They didn't always track it, so they don't know exactly, but they said that was the highest in the last 40 years. Okay, so we're just guessing the last 40 years, not sure. Okay, right now, as of yesterday or the day before, I can't remember when I heard it, it was 3.6. Okay, that's a big difference. That is a big difference. 9%, 3.6. So again, Inflation's a lot lower, but you have to remember people have to start lowering their prices. Just because inflation went down, people aren't always lowering their prices because people were paying the higher prices. So they're like, oh, we'll just keep the prices high. People are still doing it, they're still buying it. They're not thinking, well, what if that was you having to buy it? They don't think that way because they don't live like us. They don't live like middle class people, people that own Walmart, with some grocery stores, Food Lion, Publix here, Food City. People don't that own them places, they don't shop like us. Okay. They're having number one groceries either delivered or someone shopping for them. They have no idea what prices cost. Just like the elites, they have no idea. They don't know what prices cost. They have no clue. Okay. So they're trying to say, oh, it's tough. We have to work too. They have no clue. They are out of touch. That's what I heard somebody yesterday say. The elites are out of touch. They have no idea. They live in a bubble. They don't know what it is to be middle class. Okay. If they grew up middle class, they were children. They had no idea. And once you become so rich, you forget what middle class is. It's like you work, I'll say in my store. Okay. When I worked at Aldi, you start as an associate. You're at the bottom of the barrel. Okay. You get promoted and promoted. And then finally you're a store manager. You forget, honestly, what it was to be an associate because you're a manager now. Now you're living like a manager. You're not living like an associate. Okay. Or even better, you get promoted to district manager. Now you're in the office. You're doing office stuff. You forget how hard it is to throw truck. Okay. You forget real fast how hard it is to throw truck and want to be on employees. You need to get this pallet done in 20 minutes. Okay. Just saying. That's how a lot of places work. I know from experience from Aldi. That's why I'm using Aldi. I worked there 7.5 years. So I am speaking from just that. But I know other businesses do that. Is number one, they're in the office. They're looking at paperwork all day. They don't know how hard it is to run up and down the steps, carry product, take care of patients if you're a nurse. People don't know that. They're sitting in the office. They're doing paperwork. They're answering phones. They're answering emails. They're not doing all the actual labor. They forget or they never did it at all. Okay. Most people in corporate have never lifted more than 5 pounds. They have no idea. They never had to do customer service. They could care less, have no idea. That's why I always say, I think everybody should either have to be a server one time in their life or work in customer service or do both. I've done both. I've been a server and I've worked in customer service. Makes you a different person, makes you more appreciative than the people that come in and think they're high and mighty and they're better than everyone. Okay. So sorry, I got off topic, but I'm just saying from a middle class person, that is what average Americans are, is just middle class. We're making, I'm not making a lot of money now because I don't have a full-time job. But I'll say when I had my full-time job, I'll say I was making $60,000 a year. Okay. That's probably average. I'm not really sure, but I feel like that's probably about the average nowadays. Okay. So people that are millionaires, billionaires, that's chump change to them. That's change in my pocket. When you find a couple pennies and you're like, woo, I found some change. Let me put it in my change bin. That's what 50,000, 60,000 is to them. Little chump change. So they're out of touch. They have no idea what it is to live in a country that is overrun with the illegals, buying all our houses, taking all our houses. Buying groceries that are free that taxpayers are paying for. There's another reason why prices go up, because all this free money that they're getting. Again, I used to work in Aldi. People would come in there with 4 EBT cards. Okay. One person had 4 EBT cards. She said, "Oh, wait a minute. That one doesn't work. Let me get another one. Let me get another one." She had 4 EBT cards. Okay. So again, this is why prices go up. I know this is hard for people to hear. People don't want to believe this is happening. I've seen it. I know it's happening. People want to be like, "Oh, this isn't happening. This is right-wing lies." No, I saw it with my eyes multiple times. Especially the one store I worked at, it was a lot. I can't say illegals, but I would say they didn't know English and they had a whole bunch of EBT cards. Just saying. That again jacks the prices up. So you have to think all this free stuff isn't free. Everyone wants to think, "Oh, it's free." Someone's paying for it. Guess who's paying for it? You and me, who works and pays taxes. That's who's paying for the free stuff. It's not imaginary government money. That's what people think. The government money comes from taxes and hopefully keeps coming from tariffs. That's what we want. We want the Supreme Court to rule in our favor. Tariffs are good. That cuts our taxes because we now get revenue from tariffs instead of taxes. So then it cuts our taxes. That's why people are fighting it, because they can't steal the money anymore, because now it's in a different account. It's not the accessible tax money that they were ripping and stealing and doing God knows what. Again, all public knowledge. All this stuff I'm saying, you can look it up. You can do research. They found so much fraud. And again, I've seen a lot of this stuff firsthand. I'm not making up stuff. It's stuff I've seen. Okay. So I've named a couple different ways. So that was your little economic lesson today. I'm going to probably talk about this a lot, like almost every day, just because people want to keep saying how high prices are. And that's the reason why the Republicans are going to leave and are going to lose in the midterms, because prices aren't coming down. Okay. Which I get. Like I said, prices aren't coming down as fast as everyone hoped. That's the problem. Everyone thinks it's in 5 seconds, it's going to come down. Okay. When you microwave your food, you put it in there for a minute. Is it hot? Nope. Then you got to put it back in. It's the same concept. Okay. Just keep working on it. Little by little, it's chipping down the prices, chipping down the prices. Okay. Hopefully next year, they keep saying once the tax credits kick in, because when we do our tax refunds, in January, February, March, whenever you do your tax return, we're going to get all that money back that was from overtime, tips, if you live off of tips, all that stuff. That's going to kick in when we do our taxes next year. So therefore, you'll get some money in your pocket. Then you might have a little bit of a different attitude, thinking, "I can't afford anything. I can't afford anything," which I'm in that boat because I got fired from my job. So I'm in that boat. Like I said, I had a full-time job. I was making like $60,000. I'm making probably 20 right now. Okay. That's a big cut. So I'm with everybody saying all the same stuff. I just know how the economy works. I didn't know fully. I think every day I learn something new. I do listen to different podcasters that actually did research and explain it. Again, if I think it sounds funny or weird or doesn't make sense, I look it up. I don't always take their advice. The one guy I watch, he usually shows charts. So he explains it with charts and data, and then you can understand because it's actual data. And then I don't have to research it. I'm just watching his research. So I'll be honest, probably in the last month, I've learned a lot about the economy. Like, I didn't really understand the housing part of it. Like, we have lots of houses. We can't be this shorthanded of houses until you think 20 million people came in this country. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of houses that got taken, either all of every house that was taken or majority of them. Okay. That's a lot of people. That's 20,000, probably, 20 million. Sorry, 20 million. 20 million people is probably not even the most accurate. They're just guesstimating. They're just saying, we think it's about 20 million. They don't know. If it's more, then that means more houses, more free stuff. Okay. The more free stuff we give away, the more taxes we have to pay, the more it jacks up the prices. Okay. So that's why people think that socialism's great, because they think free. Okay. Nothing is free. Even when you see those little ads that pop up, oh, this is free. You have to pay for shipping. Therefore, it's not free. Right? I know everybody will say, oh, we're shipping $6.99. That's not free. It would be $0 if it's free. Right? Am I right? So, that's my little lesson on the economy. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm kind of just speaking from experience, what I've seen, what other people have said. They've done their research. I kind of cheated off their research. Okay. Hi, Lisa. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to think of is, not think. I did think of, but it was more of, why do people do videos and do podcasts? Okay. We have some people that have been getting threatened. Well, for years, I'm sure people have been getting death threats for doing exactly what I'm doing. Okay. Speaking truth, giving information, helping people be knowledgeable. Okay. What I'm talking about is not really anything that I think people would be mad about. Unless they want people to keep believing prices are so high, people can't afford. It is what it is. Okay, but some people are getting death threats, getting their houses shot up, being beat up on the street. Whatever's happened to certain people for doing pretty much what I'm doing right now. Okay, they have podcasts, they're doing videos, they're going to college campuses. We know the stories. Okay. Okay. So to me, I'm going to tell you why I am doing this and why I'm going to have the opinion that I have about it. Again, other people have different opinions and they'll have different reasons on why they're doing it and how they feel about it. I'm not judging anyone on what they're doing. I'm just going to tell you from my viewpoint, my opinion, and why I'm doing this. Okay. Like I said, I do have a part-time job. This is not my full-time job. I do have a job and I have made nothing off of this yet. Of course, this is only episode 9. Okay. I have made lots of videos and posted just videos. Some of the videos are political. Some of them are about God. I do a devotional every morning. Usually 5 to 6 days. I don't do them on Sundays, just because I get up and I'm slow pokey, go to church, try to relax a little bit on Sundays. And so I don't do them on Sundays. So I usually do my devotionals Monday through Saturday in the morning. I do them. Okay, so I've done those. And again, I've done political ones. And again, I've made $0. Okay. 0. Okay. I'm going to tell you how I started doing this. I started doing this because the Lord said, I want you to start making videos. Okay. Now, mind you, I watch videos and I've been interested in politics and been interested in all the stuff that I've been talking about in the last 9 episodes. All this stuff I've already been, interested in. Like I said, the devotional thing was kind of weird, but at first I was just making like little kind of rant videos. I made maybe 8 or 10, maybe. I don't think even that many. I made them in my car. One time I made one in my bedroom. It was just little rant videos or maybe informational videos. And I just, say whatever's on my mind or explain something that happened. Sometimes it might be something that was actually information that was, I know I did research on and it was true. Some of it was just how I felt about the situation. If it was, of course, my devotionals, I'm literally reading a devotional and I'm telling you either what the Holy Spirit's telling me or what I feel about it. Okay. That's how my videos have worked. Okay. So, first, the Lord's like, I want you to make videos. This is how He talks to me. Okay. I want you to make videos. Okay. So, did that. And He said, I think I want you to do some devotionals. Okay. Mind you, making videos of doing a devotional is a little weird when you first start doing it. Because number one, I had no direction, had no idea how to do it. What am I doing? Am I making devotions? Well, no, I didn't have to make devotions because when I used to spend a lot of money because I had a little bit of a problem with it, which again, I'm learning from not having a full time job, how to manage my money and do better with my money. Okay. So I would order those like Bible boxes. You get a t shirt, you get a devotional. I have at least 20 devotionals, at least. So I just started doing that. I did one that I had just finished on my own, and I just started there. And then the next one, I was just like, okay, what's the next one? And so I opened the box and pretty much like knew just by opening the box which one was next. And then the first one was a 30-day. The second one was like technically a 5-day. I made it into a 7. When I opened it, I didn't know it was only a 5-day, but some of the lessons were long. So I made them into 7. Okay. And the next one, the one I'm doing right now, is 30 days. Okay. So now I feel a lot more comfortable doing that. I just read. There's like a little note on the bottom. Well, there's a question and a little prayer, a little note. The one I'm doing right now, honestly, what you need to do to start your day. That's all it is. So very sweet, short and sweet and to the point. Okay. Then one day, Laura was like, I want you to start doing podcasts or make a podcast or something like that. And I was like, I don't think so. That's definitely not something I'm wanting to do. Which is kind of weird because I was like, well, I'm already making videos. Like, why not? But I was not interested. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. I, number one, don't even know how to use computers and all that. I know how to use my phone. That's the extent. Okay. Well, then one day he said, I want you to buy a microphone. And I said, okay, I guess this is happening. Because then he's like, all right, you need headphones. It was like little by little. And finally, I was like, okay, I guess I'm just doing this. And my son, Colin, is the tech support around here. He's the one that's helped me set up all this. I didn't know how to set the mic up, had no idea. Bought this laptop because I thought I was going to be using it for something different. But I guess, and when I bought this is what it was for. So I have a laptop. I used it one time to get on Facebook before I opened it to do this. Okay. So he downloaded everything I needed to do this and set it all up. And yesterday I started my live stream all by myself. Today I had tech support because it wasn't working. But yesterday I was so proud because I did it all by myself. But the very first couple days, I was like, just stay right here, help me, tell me what to do. The first day I had him do it. He just started everything. Okay. So this is why I'm doing it, is because the Lord told me to do it. I have no expectations. Okay. I'm just doing what I'm told. Okay. I'm following. Okay, I'm supposed to be helping women. I feel like a lot of my stories are for everyone, but I'm assuming eventually it's going to go deeper than that. Right now, like I said, it's very basic. I haven't really, I mean, I was a little bit in the beginning, the very first episode. If you didn't watch, I did, talk about myself, explain who I was, what my plan, how I got here. Today it was a little bit more detail. Okay. Cause I just want to kind of show you where I'm coming from with this and why I have the opinion about other people. Okay. So I feel like other people that start at podcasts or videos started, yes, to get information out, to tell truth, but they plan to make money. Like their goal is to make money off of it. Like that's why they started it. They didn't say, oh, I'm just doing this because God told me. Somebody out there probably has the same story to an extent why they're doing it. But once they started making money, I feel like it would have been more a little bit about money. Again, I don't know. I'm just speaking what I think. Okay. I always say everybody has a price. Even though I say I wouldn't do that, there's probably a price someone could give me and I may change my opinion. I don't know. Right now, I feel like you could give me any kind of amount of money. I'm not changing who I am. I am who I am. If anybody knows me, they know. Okay. What you see is what you get. You're not getting anything other than what you see. It's how I am right now is how I always am. I'm not any different. I don't try to be something I'm not. Sorry, I'm very thirsty. So I think to me is that's how people started. Number one, they started getting deplatformed. So then they started going to, okay, they were already making a little bit of money. I'll use YouTube as an example. Sorry, YouTube, but you deplatform people. You censor people. You censored a lot of people. Yes, this is how Rumble started. You're on here watching me on Rumble. Thank you. But that's how Rumble got started, was because everybody started getting deplatformed. Okay. So that's just the way it's been working. So like, again, this is not me saying that people aren't doing it for the right reasons. A lot of people probably this is what God wanted them to do. Start a podcast, talk about truth. Doesn't necessarily mean it's God's truth, the word. I mean, I've done that and I've been talking about politics. I've done both. Okay. Some people, I watch their podcasts and it's a devotion. They read the Bible. They tell you what they think about it. In the morning, there's two different guys that I watch. That's what they do. They just speak about the word and what God says. Okay. So I probably feel more like they may have had a calling. Okay. Again, I don't know. I don't know these people personally. I see their videos on Rumble. Okay. So I don't know. But we have some people that have made a lot of money doing podcasts. Again, don't know why they started. Don't know if they started because they expected to make money or they didn't expect in the beginning. They were just doing it just to get the truth out. Okay. Most people just wanted people to know the truth about, okay, we'll say when Trump started running. Okay. Because we all know in 2015, when he first started running, the country went buck wild. So people started making videos to tell people about what was going on because the mainstream media doesn't. Okay. So people started that way. Then again, you have people in 2020. How many of us got censored, deplatformed, Facebook jail because of COVID? Okay. So then you have people that got on Rumble, started making their own podcasts because they already had some kind of videos. They were already start making a little bit of money. You were a journalist, you had some income, so you started making podcasts. Like I said, I have a microphone, I have a laptop. That's all I have. I have no budget, no income from this. They may not have started like that. They may have. Everyone started a different way, I'm sure. So I feel like these people, again, they started either with the intent of make money or with the intent of, I just want to get the word out, truth, because mainstream media doesn't want to tell the truth, but I do. I want people to know the truth. We want to know that COVID was made in a lab in China and released on us to get us in line. Okay. We want people to know that. So we're going to start making videos. We're going to start doing podcasts. Then they started making money. So then now they have money and, oh, wait a minute. We don't like what you're saying. So we're going to threaten you. Okay. And it keeps going, keeps going. We're threatening you. We're threatening your family. We're now shooting at your house, throwing rocks at you, setting off fire bombs. I don't know. Okay. It's a whole bunch of different things that's going on. I'm not going to be specific. You can look it up. Okay. So then people are like, oh, now I don't think it's worth telling the truth because I might die. My family might die. Okay. I feel like, okay, Charlie Kirk probably thought those things. He probably got death threats. He probably got shot at. He ended up actually dying for telling the truth. So we feel like, oh, wait a minute. My life, my family, I make enough money. I don't need to do it anymore. I don't need to tell people the truth anymore. I'm going to not do this anymore because I don't need to. I have a couple million in the bank. Again, don't know that if that's the reason. And if it is the reason, that's on you. I don't care. That's you, what you have to deal with. I'm just saying is, why are we doing this? Are we doing this to actually tell the truth, help people? Or are we actually doing it to make money? Are we actually doing it to save this country? Do we really care if this country gets saved? Because I'm going to tell you, if we don't win the midterms, I don't really think we have a country after that. Okay? We lose the House and the Senate. Every single person that you've probably watched their podcast for the last 10 years will be in jail. Okay? They'll be in jail. They'll be prosecuted. Trump's going to be impeached. And you think the economy's bad now? You think there's all these illegals in here now? Wait till that happens. Like, we don't understand. Like, we've got to get together and figure out why we're doing this. Are we doing this to make money? Are we doing this to save our country? Okay? Because when you have millions of dollars, you live in a different life. You're not living in my life. Okay? Again, I have probably negative money in the bank. Okay? So you're not living my life because you have millions. Okay? I am doing this to save the country. I don't care. I care that I don't want to have a burqa all the way up to my eyeballs. That's what I care about. I don't want my husband to be able to beat me in broad daylight and nobody do anything about it. Or him have 5 other wives and I have to live like that. Okay? I'm a woman. And let me tell you, you get treated like garbage in Islam. Okay? I don't want that. I have a daughter. I have stepdaughters. I don't want them to get treated like that. I want them to be respected and have rights and be able to be beautiful. Because you're in a burqa, nobody even knows what you look like. They can see your eyes. That's it. Forget Oh, well, maybe you might like it. You don't have to care about your hair, what you're wearing. Takes you 2 seconds to get ready. Oh, well, it won't matter. You can't go anywhere. You're not allowed to be out on the street. You're at home cooking, cleaning, taking care of 15 babies because you got to keep popping babies out to make more Muslims. I mean, what are we doing here? Honestly, what are we doing? We have got to get it together. The enemy is real. The enemy is not who you think the enemy is. The enemy is Satan. That's the enemy. He's out to rob, kill, destroy. And he's really after this country. We've got to get it together. Think about why you do what you do, or why you don't do what you should be doing. Okay? Not everyone's going to do what I'm doing. Believe me, never thought I'd be doing it. Okay? Not everybody's going to do what I'm doing. But you can be doing something. Okay? Number one, tell people about voting. Get out and vote. That's the main thing. We need to show up and vote for every single election. Okay? Tomorrow, there's a Miami race for the mayor. Please, Republicans in Miami, show up and vote. We got to stop having 20%. We need 100. Republicans, show up and vote in Miami for your mayor. Right now, Miami's a great place to live. It's come a long way. It's clean. It's fun. It's hot. I wish I lived there. Okay? Because right now it's like 30 degrees here. Freezing. Hate it. Okay? So that's the main thing. People need to be aware, number one, of your rights. Be aware of your rights. Look it up. You can look the Constitution up and you can read it and know your rights. Okay? Number one, the main thing every single American should know is their rights. Okay? You should know your rights. And look up the Constitution and learn your rights. That's the main thing. What everyone needs to know is their rights. Okay? Number two, people need, like I said, learn about the elections, get out and vote. Okay? These are things that we need to do to save this country. Okay? This country is going down fast. People have thought, no way in a million years it would be this bad. Okay? Like when COVID hit, I couldn't believe people were hiding, closing stuff, wearing masks. I'm like, in the United States of America, we are free. Constitutional republic. We have rights. They had no right to tell us we couldn't go to church. They had no right to tell us we had to wear a mask. They had no right to tell us we had to get vaccinated. Okay? They had no rights. We, the people, make the government. They don't tell us that we can't go to church. We can't go to the store. We have to wear a mask. We have to get vaccinated. No. People didn't know their rights, so they just did it. Or they did it because they were afraid they were going to die of COVID. Okay? So this is where it starts. Learn your rights. Learn about elections. Get out and vote. Okay? These are the things. Think about, okay, I'm going to tell you my age. I was not going to do this, but it needs to be said for content. Okay? I am 48. So I grew up in the 80s. Okay? In the 80s, TV shows, people said, you want to talk about politically correct. They were not politically correct. Everybody thought it was hilarious. No one was like, oh my gosh, they're so racist. They're so sexist. They're so this and that. No, it was comedy. Nobody thought anything about it. It was funny. Because it was black people doing it and it was white people doing it. Okay? I was never offended. Never, ever, ever. Still not offended. If someone calls me derogatory names, I do not care. Okay? People get offended by everything these days. Okay? Didn't happen back in the 80s. Even in the 90s, you didn't hear people being all offended because they get called this and that. I'm not going to use any of the words because I don't want to get censored. Okay? So I'm not going to use any of the words. We know what the words are. Okay? But nowadays, everyone gets offended about everything. Okay? Guess what? Freedom of speech means you can call someone names. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you just said that. Yes, freedom of speech means you can call somebody names. It is not illegal to call people names. First Amendment says, I can call you names. You can call me names. It is a free country with freedom of speech. I know people don't want to hear that because they don't want to know that people can call them names and hurt their feelings. It's not illegal. Okay? Hey, you know how you cannot be called names? Don't do stupid things. Most people that get called names is because they do stupid things. Okay? That's why people get called names. I've been called a lot of names. I could care less. My own mother used to call me names. Okay? I do not care. It's not bothering me any. You're not hurting my feelings. Okay? So, hello, Tanya. So, these are the things that we can do. Okay? We need to be aware. We need to get it together. Because right now, we are not together. We do not have the faintest idea of what's going in this country. I'm saying we as a whole, okay? I know most of the things that are going in this country. I probably don't know a tenth, a 100th. And I'm pretty much in the know just because I watch a lot of podcasts. So I hear a lot of things. Again, I'm not in the know. I don't know behind closed door stuff. But I do know a lot of stuff that some people that don't watch podcasts or don't follow politics or don't watch all the crazy things I watch would have no idea. Okay. So I just watch these things, get my own conclusions. Again, if there's things I don't understand or think they sound weird, I do my own research. Again, please do your own research. Don't take my word for anything. Again, a lot of this stuff is just my opinion, how I feel about it. It's not flat iron written in stone. Okay. Most of the things I'm saying, I'm just saying because this is how I feel about it. Okay. The economy stuff, most of that's factual. Again, some of that was me just estimating numbers, saying my ideas about some of that stuff. Most of that stuff is legit. If you look it up, it's really how it works. Again, I watch some podcasters, they do the research. I kind of just steal the research. Sorry. Not really steal it, but you know what I mean. I'm using it for my own reference, which is why they do it. They want us to see the data. You know, they're not just saying, hey, take my word. They're showing the data. Okay. Again, I don't know how to do that yet. To show you a video, show you a chart. I don't know how to do that. I'm hoping like next week I can do some stuff and figure out how to do that because I kind of want to do some of that stuff. Because again, if some of you don't watch any of this, you wouldn't even hear it. And you hear some of the things I hear, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be your mouth wide open because some of the stuff I hear, I can't believe. I'm just like, this cannot be happening in the United States of America. And people just have no clue. Okay. So these are the things that we can do that's minimal, where you're not going to feel like you're threatened. You're not going to put yourself in a place where you feel weird. You are learning about the country. You are doing research about the elections. You are looking up your rights. You are helping people learn about how to vote. You are voting. Okay. This is stuff everyday people can just do. You don't need to be in politics. You don't need to do any of that. Okay. People need to realize that you don't want to be involved in politics. You, your parents, your grandparents is how we got here. Okay. People that wasn't interested in politics is how we got here. Okay. They didn't care. They didn't get out and vote, or they didn't vote for the people with the best policies. That's the main problem, is we don't like someone's personality, so we don't vote for them. Okay. We vote for policy. Policy is what we vote for. Okay. People that hate President Trump because of the way he talks, honestly, I love everything he says. Okay. I voted for him because of policies and because of the way he talks. Other people voted for politics. They don't agree with the way he talks. Again, they're like, he's not politically correct. He doesn't need to be. First Amendment says he doesn't need to be. So there you go. Okay. So we got here because we didn't care. And I'm saying we in general. Okay. This is everyone, not just your neighbor. Okay. I was at fault for years. Again, I've always voted Republican. Most of the time, had no idea what the policies were. I just knew that I agree with the Republicans more than I agree with the Democrats. So I'm just voting Republican. Most of the time, had no idea exactly what their platform was until Donald Trump came down the escalator. That's when I started understanding how politics works. Okay. And that is only been 10 years. Okay. So I've been voting for a long time, and I just started doing stuff 10 years ago. So you can start anytime understanding how it affects you, because every politician in this whole country affects the everyday American in some shape or form. The people that affect you the most are your local people. So city council, your mayors really, really are the main people that affect your life every day. The commissioners, because they mess with the taxes and stuff. So each of these people, you need to be voting. You need to be doing research and looking up their policies and voting for the policies, not voting for an R or a D. We're voting for policies. Okay. Most people, this is very, trying to think of the word, whatever. You'll know what I mean when I say it. A lot of people don't want to talk about this. Okay. Most women didn't vote for Trump and don't vote for Republicans because they want the right to have an abortion. Okay. That's not a reason to vote for a Democrat, because you want to kill your baby in the womb. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm hurting your feelings. Okay. But that's not a reason to vote for someone, because you want to have the right to kill your baby in your womb. Okay. That's not what we vote for. Okay. Women nowadays need to get it together. Okay. I'm a woman, so I can say this. A men shouldn't be on here saying this. Okay. If you want to say they don't have a right, I have a right. I'm a woman, and I'm telling you, get it together. Okay. Stop voting by your feelings. Number one. Hey, I'm having a bad day. He insulted me. I'm not voting for him. She was a B. I'm not voting for her. Okay. When she was giving a speech. Okay. We all want to be judgmental and be all wah, wah, wah. That's what women do. Okay. Again, we're voting for policies. Again, I get Women are voting for people that want to let you kill your baby in your womb. I guess that is a policy. So we do vote for that. Not me, because I don't vote for that. I want babies to live. I vote for pro-life. I vote for babies to live. So I don't vote that way. But most women, that's why they didn't vote for Trump, or they didn't vote for a Republican in Virginia and New York and New Jersey, because they want the right to kill their baby in the womb. Okay, this is facts. They said it. I've seen lots and lots of protests. That's why they said, I don't want to lose my right to have an abortion. Okay, they've said it, not me. Okay. So this is the problem that we're having, is people vote for personality and not policy. Okay. Okay. So hopefully Tanya don't care that I read this, but she said that was the main reason why she voted for Trump. So because she didn't want babies to get killed in the womb. So there you go. I'm with her. That wasn't the main reason why I voted for him, but that was high on the list because he said he was going to protect the unborn. And not many people want to. Okay? So, sorry. I'm getting a little emotional because this stuff gets me emotional. But anyway, my main thing that I want to get across today, okay? Because every episode I have a main thing, okay? So my main thing on this one is please do research about the elections and people's policies, and please start using your right to vote, okay? Every single American citizen, that's people that were born here or were naturalized, not the people that jumped over into our country, okay? They don't have the right. Our God-given right that we were either born here or naturalized. We need to vote, okay, for policies, okay? People would just do that instead of he said, she said, because that's what's going on right now, is a lot of he said, she said, like we're in middle school. It's all grown-ups doing this. You can't say college, even college students. It's grown adults that are probably roughly around my age, maybe a little younger, okay? It's sickening that this country is divided so bad right now that we're doing he said, she said. This time last year, we were hooting and hollering because we won the election and we were about to close the borders and have awesome 4 years. And in the matter of 3 months, this country has done an despicable turn. I don't even know how to describe it besides despicable. The Democrats will stick together through thick and thin, and they will vote us out one by one by one. And they don't care what they do to vote us out and take our rights away, put us in jail, and kill us. Okay? We've seen it. For the last 3 months, what have we seen? Because I'm not even going to say the last 10 years. What has happened in the last year and a half? 3 months ago, what happened? Which is why this craziness that's going on in the Republican Party. Okay? I get we got MAGA, we got America First, we got this, we got that. We need to be all focused on one thing, winning the midterms. That's what we need to be focused on. Now, I get everyone's going to be like, well, we don't want to vote for people that are MAGA. We don't want to vote for people that are America first. Do you want to vote for a Democrat? Because if you split the votes, the Democrat wins. Okay? This is what happens in every single election when the vote gets split. Okay? A couple years ago in the Senate race in Georgia, okay, they had 2 Republicans. They split the vote. So then a Democrat won the Senate seat. That puts us in the bad place in the Senate right now, because you have 2 awful senators sitting in the seats that represent Georgia because they split the vote. We can't split the votes. We need to stay united and vote for the candidate that has the best policies that are going to help Americans. Okay? Who cares if they're America First, MAGA? To me, that's the same thing. That's what I thought. I thought a MAGA was America First. But what Trump said, he's going to put America first. That was his line. People just stole it and made it something different. We hate Israel. That's what America First means. I don't feel like that's what he meant. He meant we just put America first. America first. If there's money left over, if there's time left over, then we can help the other countries. It's like your own house, okay? You pay your own bills, you take care of your kids. If you have a couple dollars and someone's standing on the corner and they need some food, what do? You give them some food, give them a couple bucks. That's the way the country should be. We should all be on that same page. All Republicans, all of us should be just on that page. America first. Okay? Why do we have to have 2 different America First people? MAGA and America First. I don't get it. But if we don't get it together, we're just handing over the country to the wild left, what do I call them? Lefty Lulus. We're just giving them the country. Just say, here you go. We don't care anymore about our rights. We care about being right. That's what we care about, instead of being free, living in a free country. I'm just lost at words sometimes. I just don't get why people are doing what they're doing. Because guess what? Even the people that are elite rich people, eventually they will lose stuff too, living in a communist country. Unless you're the high, like the 1%ers, which it's 1% of the population. So the 1%ers, they'll be fine even in a communist country. But the 99%, that's a lot of people. 99%. See, people that think the 1%, it's 1%. That is hardly no one. They're the people that'll be okay. The 99%, you're going to be standing in line begging for bread. That's where you're going to be. Even the people that are living in mansions right now, it'll trickle on down or up. It'll trickle up, because once we're broke, they got to start taking money from somewhere else. So then it'll just go to them and they'll just keep taking money from them. That's how it works. Once we don't have any more money for them to take, they got to take it from somewhere else. Anyway, I could talk for 25 hours, so I'm just going to get off of here. I thank you so much for watching me. I have people that are watching that have not been watching, and I thank you so much. Please like and share. Please subscribe if you want to subscribe. But the main thing is just like and share so that other people can see this, because it'll just keep circulating and circulating so other people can see this. And hopefully people will realize what I'm saying is true. Again, Not everything, because some of it is my opinion, but a lot of what I said is true. And that's what I want people to know. I don't do this for any reason, but so that people hear the truth. Or, like I said, my opinions is to make you think. Maybe she has something there. Or I don't agree with anything she's saying. She's a crackpot. That's okay too. You can feel that way about me. You can call me whatever you want and have any opinion about me. That's fine. I'm not doing this for you. I'm really doing this for my children and my future grandchildren that hopefully I have very soon if my kids would get married and have children. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching. Please like and share. And please, please just think about what I've said. God bless you and God bless America.